Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about Kimi-K2.5, which is the latest model by Moonshot AI. This is a Chinese AI company that has been producing and launching open weight models for the last year or two. Their models are pretty good, and they're probably known as some of the best writers for creative writing. This model specifically is extremely exciting for me for reasons that we'll get into in a few minutes, but it is a 1 trillion parameter model. That is huge. That means it's 2 terabytes for the full BF16, like the full weights, or 500 gigabytes for the Q4. But this model was quantized aware trained, so that means that lower quantizations are not as bad actually and can produce very good results, nearly matching the original size. So that is one thing that's good about it. What excites me about this model the most is that generally like the size of it and the abilities that it has had and the general personality that they've built it with are very nice. And also they added the vision capabilities to it, which is sorely needed in the open weight coding model world. There aren't that many that can do vision and coding. And the ones that are there are pretty large or too small. And so this is something that you need if you want to do front-end development, is to be able to take screenshots and give it to the model and give it context and point it to where it needs to go. So now that we've talked about what we are going to be doing, I will go in and just go over the model card and then what I have built with it so far and why I think it's exciting. This morning when I woke up, I saw the model launch on Twitter, and I went into the Kimi website. I already pay for their subscription, $20 a month, and I tried this model out, and I was genuinely impressed, like super, super impressed by the quality of the output that it gave and the type of the output that it gave. I gave it a very basic prompt, something that is like pretty ambiguous and not so well defined. And if you see here, it's like, what, 5-6 sentences. And what it was able to produce for me was really nice. So I gave it 2 drawings of, these are MC Escher paintings. One of them is Relativity, and one of this, I forgot the name of the piece, but this is some of my favorite art. I really enjoy his work. I saw that Kimi team demoed with a painting as well. So they took a painting and turned it into a website, and that was super exciting for me. So I gave it a prompt. This is my branding style and a few links to my websites, and I told it to make a very nice experience. Now, one thing I want you guys to know is that like we are in an age where anybody can make slop, right? Anybody can send an email, anybody can fill out an application for a job, and in order to get high quality submissions or high quality experiences, you need to spend some time and make it a real cool experience. Nobody's going to read just like a regular document because there's just too much of that right now and they don't know what quality is. So if you could produce something that is really high quality, that is a really cool experience that somebody can get hooked on within 2 clicks, you're most likely going to get the job or whatever it is that you're trying to do. So I gave it that prompt and it produced this preview. This is the first iteration of the website that it made. And you could see here that it has this 3D shape and you could see the like little sparkles all around. It took data and like kind of quotes from my websites. And when I scroll down, this starts changing and moving around. So it took some information. It's very cool. It has my projects here. Now there are some bugs like this. I would consider a bug where you scroll and I can't really like horizontally scroll, but for something that took a single prompt that was pretty sloppy and lazy, it is pretty good. The experience is nice. The animations make sense. They're overwhelming. Like this is way too much going on the screen, but it's creative and it's unique and it's different, which is something that I really enjoy. I don't want to see like the slop websites. So you can see that as I scroll down, this is zooming into and out of this shape, which I would say is pretty cool. You can see the square in the background. Now, this was pretty cool to me because, again, I want something that is unique and custom. And so I started playing around with it. I told you I subscribed to the $20 a month plan, and we can look at basically what they give you. They have their own coding plan. It's bundled with the normal like chat plan. They give you 2,048 prompts a week. 200 prompts every 5 hours, which is a fair amount. I would say this is like on par with Minimax in terms of what you get out of it. And I took that, I set it up in a few of my coding agents. We can take a look here. So this is Pi. It's similar to Claude Code. I would say it's way better, but I set it up here. You can see the model, and I confirmed that it is running the latest version. And I asked it to build a game. Now, this is pretty simple. Like, this is not real work, but it does illustrate something, which is how well can it do on these very generic, basic prompts, and what does it output? What is the creative style that it has? Because when I ask, like, let's say GLM this, I get something completely unique and different. While this loads, I will go and look here. Now, after I got this V1, I went down and asked it to make it more Escher inspired. So here's the V2, and it's able to iterate on a single artifact. Wow, this is the first time I see this. Okay. Okay. Damn, man, this is really cool. This flickering is annoying, but it only happens when I'm scrolling. This is amazing. And all this art is like AI, like obviously it's AI inspired. It's not the actual art of Escher. Escher's art is here, but these are like very coherent and very nice. And I love this. This is like incredible. It's a little bit overwhelming, and so there's things that could be improved. Let's see if it has the Twitter right. Okay, it just sends me to Twitter. It doesn't actually, or to X, it doesn't actually put my link in there. But this is really good to me. It's a little overwhelming. It needs to be toned down. Let's see if this game, why is this so slow? Maybe it's too big. Let's see. I will give it another chance. And so you can see here that I am prompting it and telling it what to do. The HTML is not loading styles and is taking way too long to render the game. Please fix. So here's one thing that is bad about this model is the speed. So the speed here is just not decent, I would say. I mean, it's pretty good. It's all right. Like it's on par with the GPT models, maybe a little bit slower, especially now. So that's one thing that holds it back. But the capabilities, the general artistic sense and style, the reliability for tool calls, I think this is kind of what the promise of Gemini was, right? A model that's really good at producing novel, unique UI experiences that don't look like generic AI slop. And while we did get that, and I have tried Gemini a lot, it just fails too much. Like the tool calling is not reliable. The model just is not reliable, and you can't use that in a production system. Now, this is very reliable, as in it can do tool calls, it can think, it can run around, it can do what it needs to do. It researches, it listens to instructions. It's got very good sense and style. I really love this. I'm going to use this for something. I don't know what, but I will use it for something. Now, one last thing that they did advertise as a capability for this model is browser use, and we can see that in the benchmarks. And I built this browser extension called Parchy. It's on my GitHub. If you want to check it out, I will link it in the description. After I was given beta access or like alpha access to Chrome, the Claude in Chrome, I used it a lot. I used it to set up, let's say, my AWS account configurations, all the IAM stuff. I used it for like government website submissions, like if I want to fill out forms for the government. I used it to basically get data from LinkedIn, which is, there's no open API for that. I've used it for tons of different things like testing and QA for websites post-development to get instructions. And I found it to be a really, really useful and very underappreciated way of using LLMs, smacking them in the AI. And one thing that I don't like is installing a browser just to do this, because I have my own browsers. I don't want to install like some other browser, and I especially don't want to use a model that is provided by the browser itself, for many reasons that I don't care to get into right now. But this is my Chrome extension. You can see it here. So I've configured it with the Kimi coding plan and all of the different stuff. and I have it working. The main thing is that my extension has like a lot of flaws and bugs and wasn't built for Anthropic APIs, which this is an Anthropic style API. But we can go ahead and just get to it. I want you to find 5 LinkedIn accounts related to the Chinese AI company Kimi, then produce a markdown report on each of those people, include details and references. So now I have this working well with the OpenAI style chat completions. Is it working? Is it still working? Maybe it will. Hopefully it will. Fingers crossed. So I have it working with the ChatGPT style responses. I don't know if it's going to work well for the Anthropic. I might have to like I might have to rework it a little bit and add some things. So yeah, I could see here that it's really not. Oh, oh, oh. Just okay, okay, okay. Let's see. Let's see what it does. I'm spectating this just as much as you guys. We can come back to it and get an idea later. This is still in the works, and yeah, this is good. Like going into the model cart to see what makes this model special. Why would we want to use this? So one is the cost. It's cheaper. It's open weight. That's always a plus. It has vision capabilities. It benchmarks as the top model in the world right now. So not just the top open weight model, but the top model in the world, at least with humanity's last exam. Let me see if it's out on Artificial Analysis Index. Usually it takes like a few days for these things to show up on these benchmarks. It's still going. All right, it's still going. But yeah, it's my laptop is getting slow. But yeah, we're going back to the benchmarks here. We can take a look and we can see with tools, it does a 50.2 on humanity's last exam. That is 10% higher than any other model that is out right now, including GPT, Opus, and Gemini, which is, again, stunning. It's really interesting to see that they were able to get it that high up. It was trained on 15 trillion tokens, which is significantly less than a lot of the Quen models. So, for example, the Quen Max that was released yesterday was trained on way more, I would say. Maybe I'm wrong, so if I am, please let me know in the comments. But the fact that it was trained on relatively a small amount of tokens, it's still able to benchmark so much higher. And then in the software bench, you could see that it is essentially in the middle between Gemini, GPT, and all the other ones. So let's see if this will work now. All right, the game is loading. So how to play. And this is another thing where I didn't really give it like any kind of direction. I just told it, build me a game and make it look good, and let's see how it goes. So use A and D to move around, to tunnel walls, A and D, space to continue. Hold shift to speed boost. Okay. 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 Let's see. Oh, well, there we go. Crashed. Oh, so I basically moved the actual background, not the blue thing here. Interesting. I need to get these. Interesting. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. I mean, it doesn't really work well in terms of moving in and out, but yeah, this is pretty cool. And you can see also the style and the kind of creativity that it has. It's pretty impressive to me. So yeah, this model has been generally good. Moving with arrows and A, D doesn't work. Correct it. Let's give it minimal thinking. I don't think it can respond to minimal thinking. We can correct that later. But yeah, an important thing to know here is like, how do you actually get it to work in your code editors and all that? What the hell is going on? Artificial analysis. Okay, there you go. let's see where it ranks. But yeah, it's still not up there. So let's actually just go and figure out. So Kimi coding plan, and we can figure out from there like how it works. So here are the docs, because I really struggled with this for a bit, and it took me a while to get it working properly. Let's go. So essentially, what you need to do is use this very specific for VS Code and using third-party coding agents. So right here, this is the specific part that you need to follow. You need to get this API URL. You need to make sure that it, like whatever harness you're putting it in, supports Anthropic models and like being able to configure Anthropic type URLs. You need to use this specific model ID. This is Kimi-K2.5. I confirmed earlier, so I went into their dashboard and I saw like my usage and I saw the ID in there. And then one more thing you need to do is include this like user agent thing in the HTML. But if you mention this to a coding agent, they can figure it out for you. I will check to see if I really only have like 2 minutes before I need to head out, but it did find some people at Moonshot, but it failed to continue. So continue, and let's see if it can. Yeah. So after a bit, yeah, this is an error on my end. Actually, this is not related to Kimi, so I need to fix this as a bug. But you can see here that it is able to do a bunch of tool calls, and the things that it failed to do are more like browser issues. I need to just figure out how to make this more reliable and ship this out for Kimi. But I am very, very excited for this model. I think this is going to be one of the best models over the next 6 months, if not the best model to use, outside of its speed. And if they can get it to get faster, like maybe do some Cerebrosteel or something, we could have the best open weight model for coding and for like a bunch of other stuff like computer use, accessible to us for relatively cheap. Hopefully this video helped you guys understand this model, and I will see you again in the next one. Thank you.